Good afternoon. Continuing our tour of the artillery of the 2nd Company, we have in front of us here now a bronze 1.5 pound gun on a galloper carriage. This gun has the same contours of barrel. It's called a cannon, and this is again a piece that you would find with battalion of infantry. It's lightweight. It's designed to be, a galloper is designed to be pulled by a single draft animal or a small animal. This one could be pulled by a pony or small animal, even possibly a goat. This has a 1 8700 inch bore. It's made of bronze, so it doesn't have a sleeve. Bronze has a much higher burst strength than, say, the iron gun 3-pounder. The iron gun has a 1/4 inch 4140 steel sleeve in it to make it proof, so that it has no chance of exploding. The bronze gun has been proofed out at twice the normal usage of powder and ball, so it's secure. It also has the muzzle swell, the muzzle ring, the chase, ring and ogee, first reinforce, ring and ogee, second reinforce, the breech, the vent field, the vent, cascable, and the button in the back. Now this gun's mounted on a carriage that again has 2 side boxes. Now, when I read through the literature on this type of carriage, this gun, it depended on the company that you were in, which company of artillery you had, as to how they loaded out the side boxes. Some preferred to load all solid shot, some preferred to load a mix of solid shot and small canister or grape shot on stands. Now, we haven't fired anything out of this besides single projectiles, and our experience has been that the expected range on something like this is under 600 yards, but that's still a very effective weapon at a time period when the average soldier still had a weapon that reached less than 100 yards. It might be better to put this, say, in a fortification so you had some protection, because the enemy could get close, but this is a very effective weapon for the time period. Again, the same loading procedures as before. The worm, advance down the bore and turn without wrapping your fingers. Pull it out, no debris. Advance the sponge, you dump the sponge, spin it out, make sure all the excess water's out of it, and run it down the bore. Now, while all this is going on, the gunner in the back has had his finger over the vent, and when you pull this out with a wet sponge, you should have a partial vacuum, and you should hear a very soft thump when you pop the vacuum. That means there's no oxygen getting to it, and you're putting out any little sparks that might be in there. Hear that thump? That means there's a partial vacuum, and hopefully all the sparks are gone. You run your new cartridge down, your projectile, prick and prime, and again with the fuse or the loose powder, and you set it off with the linstock. This gun and all these guns are designed to recoil back on firing. It's nothing we didn't discuss earlier. There's no recoil mechanisms on any of these. No hydraulics, no springs. The barrel is mounted directly to the chassis of the carriage. When the gun goes off, Newton's laws are in effect. The mass goes one way, the gun goes the other. The larger gun, the 3-pounder, could be expected to roll back between 3 and 6 feet. This gun rolled back with a projectile in it about 1.5 feet when we did it. Not very far, but still enough that you don't stand behind the wheel when you're firing the weapon. Same thing with the 3. Our large 6-pounder that we fire at Fort Morris could, on some ground in Fort Morris, is very flat and sandy, and that gun can move pretty well. I'd say 6 to 18 feet with a heavy load. So you really don't want to be behind that gun because it weighs over a ton. This gun is considered very lightweight, very maneuverable, very portable. Probably only needed a team of 6 men instead of 12 like the 3-pounder. So it was economical in use as well as being small and not expensive to build. And that concludes our 3-pound or 1.5 pound galloper gun.